A night meant for celebration was shattered by sudden violence, transforming a joyful wedding into an unforgettable nightmare. But what happened next has everyone talking. The swift bravery and selflessness of ordinary people might have saved numerous lives. But the motives behind the shooting remain clouded in uncertainty. But here's where the story takes a controversial turn and raises questions that demand reflection. Outside the Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua, New Hampshire, an American Red Cross disaster relief vehicle was stationed beside a hotel, serving as a reunification point for those affected by the shooting on September 20th, 2025. Inside the club, as wedding festivities unfolded, chaos erupted. According to New Hampshire Attorney General John Formella, patrons dining at the restaurant sprang into action, responding to an armed assailant with instinctive courage that likely prevented a much greater tragedy. Authorities reported that one person lost their life and 2 others suffered gunshot wounds during the Saturday evening incident. The violence ended when the suspect was apprehended in a nearby neighborhood shortly after the shooting. The victim killed was identified as 59-year-old Robert DeCesare Jr. The accused is Hunter Nadeau, a 23-year-old former employee of the country club who now faces a second-degree murder charge for fatally shooting DeCesare. According to Formella, Nadeau's actions appeared to be driven more by a desire to sow chaos than hate. Although during the commotion, multiple witnesses heard him shout, "Free Palestine." The shooter's exact intentions, however, remain undetermined, and investigators continue to search for answers about what motivated this horrific event. This is the part most people miss. It's still unclear if the shooting was random or targeted, and speculation is rampant. As panic spread, someone in the restaurant managed to strike Nadeau with a chair, possibly preventing the situation from deteriorating further. Wedding DJ Michael Homewood recounted how decisive action almost certainly saved lives, praising the person who intervened. He hit him over the head with a chair, and he probably saved a bunch of lives just doing that. For those trying to piece together what happened, it's important to note, early reports suggested there might have been more than one shooter. However, police later confirmed only Nadeau was responsible. Authorities indicated in a statement that further charges are expected as the investigation continues, especially concerning additional victims. One of the wounded is reported to be an employee of the club and remains in critical but stable condition. The other injured individual is a patron, though their status has not been publicly disclosed. Besides the 3 people shot, more than 4 others suffered non-life-threatening injuries, such as cuts, a broken hand, and blunt force trauma. Nashua Fire Rescue provided assistance for approximately 100 people, guiding them away from the scene to safety at a nearby firehouse. Governor Kelly Ayotte released a statement saying both she and her husband are keeping the victims in their prayers, and highlighted that the Attorney General's office will work closely with local police during the investigation. In the midst of grief and confusion, the personal impact is profound. Charlene DeCesare, the widow of Robert DeCesare, described her trauma and stated she is concentrating on supporting her children. She wrote, "Our lives are forever changed in one moment that would be senseless except for the belief that Rob was trying to protect me and my daughter. And maybe others there too. In our hearts, he's a hero." Further details revealed that both Charlene and her daughter were nearest to the shooter as he entered, and that Robert DeCesare lost his life while protecting his family, and possibly others. She also offered a reminder against public speculation, urging the community to avoid spreading misinformation, which she says only adds to the pain of families and complicates the work of police. This plea is a sobering counterpoint to the rampant rumors online. But should people hold back their opinions, or does open discussion help? Witnesses painted a picture of overwhelming chaos. Evie O'Rourke, mother of the victim, shared her heartbreak as she struggled to locate her son after the shooting. "He went down. My daughter-in-law and granddaughter escaped. They saw my son go down, and they saw blood," O'Rourke said. Others described the celebratory atmosphere moments before the attack. Sophie Flaberis spoke about traditional Greek plate smashing and how the event was interrupted by the sound of gunshots and frenzied screams. Emily Ernst saw the shooter, dressed all in black and wearing a mask, lift his weapon and open fire, prompting guests to flee for their lives. Tom Bartleson, who was attending his nephew's wedding, recounted how a night of dancing for the bride and groom devolved into panic. "We heard about 6 shots and everybody ducked for cover. And next thing you know, we're rushed into safe spots," and things like that. As the investigation proceeds, many are left wondering, could tragedy have been averted with better security? Or was it truly the quick thinking and bravery of bystanders that made the difference? And this is where opinions may divide. Was striking the shooter with a chair justified? How does sharing speculation after such traumatic events help or harm the healing process? Do you think such acts of heroism are enough, or should event security take a different approach in the future? Share your thoughts. Do you agree with how the situation was handled? Or do you see things differently? Are heroic actions by bystanders enough? Or does society need to push for stronger preventive measures? Let's hear your views in the comments.